to thrive. And in Imo, we are not leaving it to chance. From land to sky to river deep, Guardians are always watching, protecting dreams and opportunities. If you go to the quiet shore of Orashi Power, you will see the awakening of a hydropower roaring to electrify and energize a blossoming economy. The change is visible. The heartland of the East is under construction as new roads are threading together once forgotten places. Industry is humming again and communities are alive. At the center of it all, a digital revolution is rising. A new ministry with a new mission. Not just cables and codes, but capacity. 500,000 young minds trained each year to build a digital future. And as Orashi Power goes up, so does Imo, lifting with it the hopes of a hard-working people. A new Imo is on the rise.
From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10. Live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Ayotunde Balogun.
Hello and welcome tonight. Senate challenges President's economic team over 2025 budget non-implementation, considers cutting 2026 budget proposal. With the economy now investment-driven, the Naira is set on path to stability. That's according to the coordinating minister of the economy. Rivers State Assembly suspends impeachment proceedings against Governor Simonalai Fubara and his deputy Ngozi Odu. And US President Donald Trump says the world will know within 10 days whether the United States can reach a deal with Iran or might resort to military action.
In our business, Nigeria's foreign exchange reserves rise to $48.5 billion, highest level since 2013.
On sports news tonight, Super Falcons head coach Justin Madugu names 25 players ahead of friendlies against Cameroon in Yaoundé.
And from the nation's capital, at least 34 persons killed after suspected Lakurawa militants carry out coordinated attacks on communities in Kebbi State.
The Senate today has confronted the President's economic team over poor implementation of the 2025 budget, unrealistic assumptions of the proposed 58.7 trillion budget, as it raised the possibility of reducing the 2026 budget proposal. Now, during the 10th budget defense session before the Senate Committee on Appropriations, a key concern for several lawmakers is the widespread complaints of non-funding of the 2025 budget. Our National Assembly correspondent, Gloria Mezioke, tells us more.
Honorable Minister of Finance.
The National Assembly Budget Defense sessions continue with the appearance of the President Tinubu's economic team before the Senate Committee on Appropriations.
The expenditure of this year's budget, how do you view it?
The economy is growing at 4%, inflation is down, the exchange rate is stable, reserves are up, we are attracting investment.
Across the room in a no-holds-barred session, one key concern reverberated.
The recurring complaint is non-release. Almost zero implementation or performance. That is very sad.
Why is Nigeria an exception? And in spite of the failure of this centralized payment system, do you hope to change it, Or do you want to stick to it?
As it stands, you have borrowed those money, and yet the evidence from all the FDAs is that those capital projects did not benefit from the borrowing. Why is it so?
There was a borrowing for capital approved, which is part of what you are saying, which was directly to go to certain capital projects. There's an explanation for that, which belongs, I think, in a smaller gathering of why something was committed and it hasn't arrived yet.
Lawmakers are apparently dissatisfied with his explanation, prompting the chairman to press on.
Honorable Minister, sir, why are we not funding 2025 budget? It's a topical question. So, Honorable Minister, can you speak directly to that? The NRS chairman, you have something to add to this?
Why is budget not being funded? And the answer is also in this room. It is what I think, by God's grace, we will correct this year. Budget funding comes from realistic budgets. It's not in the quantum of the budget. It is in the amount you can carry out, and it is in how much can we realistically get from oil.
It's just a clear indication that we don't believe, or you don't have the full confidence of this 58.19 trillion budget.
No, that
so my question is this. I'm coming, sir. My question is this. Two things. One, the revenue you declare, is it for federation or for federal government? Let's speak to ourselves. Do we reduce this budget or we leave it the way it is? If we are not reducing, then you are telling us that you will meet the targets.
The Minister of State for Finance quickly provides assurances.
We had to have a stakeholder engagement today with all the permanent secretaries and the accounting officers of all the MDAs. The purpose of the briefing was to tell them that we were ready to start making payments and that we needed all the MDAs to upload their cash plan and whatever warrants that they had not uploaded before. So basically, as at today, all the payments for 2024 will start. That's outstanding payments for the capital.
There are evidently more questions than answers as the session is subsequently dissolved into a closed-door meeting.
Now, it's unclear whether or not the idea to make a budget reduction was widely embraced, but the economic team has assured that if certain assets were disposed of or used to reduce debt, the overall debt stock would reduce and future borrowing costs could decline. From the National Assembly, Gloria Umezuke, Channels Television News.
The federal government says it is moving from debt-driven spending to an investment-led economy to stabilize the naira, attract private capital, and drive long-term growth. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edu, made the remarks at the G24 Technical Group meeting in Abuja. He adds that early signs of confidence in the Nigerian economy is a $20 billion commitment from Shell and new private sector inflows, which the government hopes will boost a medium-term growth of 7% and a tax-to-GDP ratio of 18%. Our correspondent, Benny Ark, reports.
Mr. Shetima Tamati.
Policymakers from emerging and developing economies gather to discuss strategies for navigating global volatility, tightening financial conditions, and trade uncertainty.
Yes. Dr. Kamara of the...
In attendance as the secretary of the G24, finance ministers, central bank governors, development partners, and economic experts from member countries. The Intergovernmental Group of 24 is a coalition of developing nations established in 1971 to coordinate positions on international monetary and development finance issues, ensuring their interests are represented within the IMF and World Bank.
As we navigate a world facing a new set of challenges, our deliberations in 2026 TGM will focus on the key issues relating to the Bretton Woods at 80 reform initiative, which is not really a replacement of the system, but a call for renewal and rebirth.
The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria highlighted the benefits of Africa's payment system, but warned that digital platforms could pose risk to monetary stability.
Africa's experience with the Pan-Africa Payment and Settlement System, PAPS, offers a powerful lesson for the G24 in building modern, inclusive payment systems. PAPS demonstrates how developing regions can create homegrown, interoperable infrastructure that reduces reliance on external correspondent banks, lowers settlement costs, and enables instant local currency cross-border payments. However, we must be clear-eyed. The opportunities of digital payments comes with equally significant risks.
Delivering his keynote, Nigeria's Minister of Finance used the opportunity to give an appraisal of the federal government's efforts to stabilize the economy.
And over the past 2 years or so, 2.5 years now, the administration has implemented a series of bold, politically complex but necessary reforms aimed at restoring macroeconomic stability. These measures have laid the groundwork for a more competitive, a more transparent, and to an extent, a more resilient economy.
The summit is expected to provide a platform for developing countries to advance policy reforms, strengthen multilateral cooperation, and shape a fairer, more resilient global financial system. Benny Ark, Channels Television News.
Now, the president may have signed the Electoral Act 2026 into law, but members of civil society organizations have described the newly assented signed document as a missed opportunity for transformative electoral reform. They stated this during a news conference in Abuja, warning that key loopholes could undermine the credibility of the 2027 general elections.
It is 24 hours after President Bola Tinubu signed the Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2026 into law, and reactions are trailing the exercise. Members of civil society organizations are reacting to the passage of the bill into law. They've been at the forefront of electoral reform, and they believe the amendment is key to the credibility of elections in Nigeria.
If we're not careful, we will still grapple with the same logistical challenges that have been a feature of our electoral process.
And enact the Electoral Bill 2026.
A lawmaker explains the rationale for the passage of the bill and the speedy signing.
It was important to very quickly transmit to the presidency. We know elections are very, very critical, and it's important that there's some degree of certainty in the system. As we know, there was already electoral timelines as announced by INEC, and it was important that very quickly the bill was ascended to so that it could become law.
Issues of network failure during elections is also countered by the civil society groups.
INEC had a joint committee with NCC, and they had surveyed polling units. Remember, what you're focusing on are the locations where we have polling units. So the assessment was done on network coverage across polling units. In 2018, the data showed that 93% of our polling units had network coverage in 2018. So you can imagine how it has progressed. Now, if you look at the data, the IREV, on elections day, we are consistently achieving at least over 90% upload.
Meanwhile, political parties are criticizing the passage and the subsequent signing of the bill.
There is internet penetration in over 93% of the whole of Nigeria. In terms of transmission, we're able to achieve 97% in 2023 election in terms of transmission. The only problem we had was with the presidential election, and they know the truth of what happened in that presidential election.
Because when these laws and the amendment were being done, they were robustly debated. They were loudly discussed across each of the zones. Nigerians invested their energy and their personal resources. And on the government side, on the legislature side, they invested public funds in holding some of these gatherings. And there's only one very loud request from that place: mandatory electronic transmission of results. Is that in the paper? It's not there. There's no mandatory.
For now, the groups are asking the National Assembly to promptly publish the final version of the Act to ensure legal clarity and proper stakeholders' engagement.
And Nigeria's electoral umpire INEC is calling on prospective voters to come out en masse and cast their votes for chairmen of the 6 area councils and councillors for the 62 wards in the FCT. A statement released by the Commission says accreditation and voting will begin at 8:30 a.m. and close at 2:30 p.m. on election day across all polling units in the Federal Capital Territory.
It is less than 48 hours to the FCT Area Council elections, and the Nigerian police is mobilizing resources for election duties.
Your responsibility is to...
The Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of operations at the FCT Command, Mr. Ishaku Sharu, leads the charge. From Eagle Square, a combined team of security personnel comprising the Army, Police, Civil Defense, Road Safety, and the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency take a tour of locations around the nation's capital, including the outskirts. In one of the communities noted as a flashpoint, the security team pay a courtesy visit to the traditional ruler.
This place maintains 2 polling units, and we will never allow the resident to be disenfranchised. So, by implication, Saturday morning, materials will be moved from RAC to this place, so that at least the resident will also exercise their civic responsibility.
I want to assure you of peace in this community. On behalf of my fellow members, the youth, women, and any other person, as long as we are going to conduct election in this community, I'm promising you no violence in this community. We have done it, we have been doing it, and we'll continue to do it peacefully.
Having monitored the distribution of sensitive electoral materials to the 6 local government areas earlier, the police chief briefs journalists on the level of preparedness for the exercise.
We have different layers of security arrangement, ranging from the movement of material. You could see our vehicles, the security at the old CBN, trying to move the sensitive material to all the INEC secretariat at all the 6 area councils. And by tomorrow, the movement of material from the INEC secretariat area council to the RAC, and from RAC, next tomorrow is the D-Day, the movement of all those material to the 2,822 polling units.
The police is assuring residents of the nation's capital that all communities will be fortified to ensure that the exercise holds without any violence.
In part 2, after the break, officials of the Independent Corrupt Practices Commission ICPC raid Abuja residence of former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai. Please stay with us.
Cube is available in beef, chicken, jollof, and crayfish flavors. In 50 cubes, Saver Pack, and 100 cubes, Super Saver Pack.
Terra Cube, unwrap joy, unleash taste. We are a nation of passion and resilience. For almost 25 years, we have believed in our people, investing, innovating, and connecting millions. We build vital infrastructure and provide essential services like health centers and clean water that sustain communities. As the biggest supporter of Nigerian football and athletics, we are developing the next generation of champions. We are proud to be the first telco listed on the Nigerian exchange. Owned and led by Nigerians, with nearly half our executive team being women, we are building the nation's most inclusive company. With over 6.7 trillion naira in taxes paid and deep investments through the MTN Foundation, our numbers tell a story of purpose, partnership, and progress. We are MTN Nigeria, a proudly Nigerian company that will continue to be a force for good.
With Nivea Dry Deo, you can keep moving forward in life with confidence. Nivea Dry Deo. Armor 72-hour active protection against sweat and odor with 0% alcohol to prevent irritation. Stay dry and fresh all day long. Skin is for moving forward, Nivea is for skin. Your favorite Nivea deo, now in a smaller pack size.
I am the chef of life.
Mr. Chef, it's a two-finger crush.
Pass me the chicken and all toppings.
Chef of life. I am the chef of life. Chef of life with Mr. Chef.
Mama Maka, we got this.
With Mr. Chef, a simple crush turns meals into culture and moments into memories.
The true taste of home
and culture. Mr. Chef, taste home, taste culture.
A new chapter in Nigerian storytelling is here. The Nigeria Prize for Creative Arts with focus on documentary film. The theme for the inaugural prize is identity. Who are we? Where do we come from? What shapes us? Now it's your turn to tell that story. From February to April 2026, young Nigerian filmmakers aged 18 to 35 are invited to submit non-fiction short documentaries, 20 minutes or less, that has been completed between April 2024 and April 2026. This is your platform, your voice, a chance to join a vibrant ecosystem of storytellers shaping how the world sees Nigeria. Your work will be evaluated by an exceptional panel of judges using world-class standards. Visit thenigeriaprizes.org for full details. Create, submit, be heard.
My baba, they always say, for market, every day gets your own wahala. Sometimes people go on scanning, but baba say, no be by gra, you must cool down, dey sharp, because with OPay payment, your money go enter sharp, no story. But inside market, anything fit happen. One day, we no see phone again. My baba remember OPay USSD lock, dial *955*131#. Baba press and lock account. From market woman to driver, from small boy to big man. Now OPay, they protect people like us. My baba fit sell, press phone, collect POS, and still they teach me price. And when they don't tire, go just tap OPay night guard. We no fear for this our hustle life. Now OPay be the people payment shield.
Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 live on Channels Television, broadcasting from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. Senate challenges President's economic team over 2025 budget non-implementation, considers cutting 2026 budget proposal. With the economy now investment-driven, the Naira is set on a path to stability. That's according to the coordinating minister of the economy. River State Assembly suspends impeachment proceedings against Governor Simonalayi Fubara and his deputy, Ngozi Odu. And U.S. President Donald Trump says the world will know within 10 days whether the United States can reach a deal with Iran or might resort to military action. In a major political development, the River State House of Assembly has formally withdrawn its impeachment notice against Governor Simonalayi Fubara and Deputy Governor Professor Ngozi Odu, following what lawmakers described as a timely intervention by President Bola Tinubu. The announcement came shortly after plenary, following deliberations from a committee of the whole. The Speaker of the River State House of Assembly, Martin Amewele, informed the House that the decision followed a high-level meeting at the presidential villa with Governor Simonalayi Fubara, FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, and President Bola Tinubu. The Abuja residence of the former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, was on Thursday searched by officials of the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, the ICPC. This was confirmed in a short statement by his media advisor, Mr. Muyiwa Adikeye. According to Mr. Adikeye, ICPC officials arrived at Mr. El-Rufai's residence at about 2 p.m. on Thursday and immediately proceeded to search the entire house. Mr. El-Rufai's lawyer, Ubong Akpan, condemned the raid on the former governor's residence by the ICPC officials, describing it as unlawful and a clear violation of legal procedures and fundamental rights. Mr. El-Rufai had on Monday honored an invitation from the EFCC and spent 2 nights in their custody in Abuja over alleged financial improprieties linked to his time as Kaduna State Governor from 2015 to 2023. He was then granted administrative bail by the EFCC on Wednesday evening, February the 18th, but was immediately taken into custody by security operatives reportedly acting for the ICPC. Justice Emeka Nwite of the Federal High Court Abuja has admitted additional concessional statements and digital forensic examination report against the accused persons standing trial for their alleged complicity in the June 5, 2022 terror attacks against St. Francis Catholic Church in Owo, Ondo State. Justice Nwite also admitted a techno-telephone that revealed the exchange of communications among the defendants before and after the terror attack. At the day's proceedings, the Department of State Service, which instituted the trial against the accused persons, formally closed its case after calling 11 witnesses. Following the development, Justice Nwite fixed March the 4th and the 5th for the defendants to open their defense. Let's now move over to the nation's capital, and of course, Millicent Nwaka is standing by to give us the latest from our Abuja studios. Over to you, Millicent.
Many thanks, Ayotunde. We begin talking security, where at least 34 people are feared dead following coordinated attacks by suspected Lakurawa militants in Kebbi State. The assaults are reported to have struck several villages in Arewa local government area, leaving communities in shock and panic. Survivors describe the raids as highly organized, indiscriminate, and terrifying. Local sources report that the attacks left 16 people dead in Mamunu, 5 in Awashaka, 3 in Masama, and 2 each in several smaller villages. Residents were forced to flee as gunmen stormed homes, opening fire on civilians without warning. Security forces have been deployed to the area to protect residents and assist survivors. Meanwhile, in Ondo State, the Commissioner of Police, Adebowale Lawal, has vowed that those who murdered the traditional ruler of Agamo village in Akure North local government area, Oba Kehinde Falodun, would be apprehended and prosecuted. The police commissioner, along with the heads of other security agencies, were in the local government area for an assessment of the situation at the community. Residents at some point had also gathered at the monarch's residence where he was killed. Mr. Lawal explains the police and other security agencies are already carrying out investigations to track down the perpetrators of the heinous act. Away from security, the Nigeria Export Processing Zones Authority, NEPZA, has approved and issued a free trade zone license to Harvestfield Industries to enable local manufacturing of next-generation, long-lasting insecticidal bed nets in Shagamu, Ogun State. This marks a major milestone for Nigeria's health security, industrial growth, and a shift from import dependence to domestic production. Speaking to journalists, National Coordinator of the Healthcare Value Chain, Dr. Abdul Mukhtar, says the initiative aligns with President Bola Tinubu's agenda to expand local manufacturing, deepen health sovereignty, and build a more resilient national health system.
What this is doing is really encouraging local manufacturers to thrive, to do the same thing. In this particular zone, the initial investment is estimated to be about $30 million. It's going to produce 10 million bed nets, but there are also other projects, including the manufacturing of blood products to tackle serious illnesses in Nigeria. This is the first also in partnership with a major Chinese company that is coming in the next couple of months. So declaring this area a free trade zone is providing a lot of incentives, and these incentives will really turn around the game. This is going to be a game changer in the manufacturing sector in Nigeria. And so what this administration is doing, really providing these incentives, supporting manufacturers for the creation of jobs, for attracting investments, is really huge. At least 600 skilled jobs are going to be produced at the first instance in this place, but going forward, thousands of skilled jobs will be provided.
From health to housing, over 15,000 Nigerians have accessed housing financing through various loan windows of the Federal Mortgage Bank as part of efforts to expand affordable home ownership nationwide. Managing Director of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Shehu Asidi, disclosed this during a press briefing marking his second year. He explains that the bank will continue to scale up funding, partnerships and housing delivery to meet the growing needs of Nigerians.
I am proud to say that our stewardship in the last 2 years has seen renewed confidence in the National Housing Fund scheme. Before we came in 2024, the highest annual collection ever made into the National Housing Fund was 100 billion, which was recorded in 2023. In 2024, we came in and took the collection to 203 billion. In the outgoing year 2025, our NHF collections has reached 252.4 billion naira, representing over 48% growth on the 2024 collection and the highest annual collection in the history of this bank. In 2025 alone, the bank financed 6,911 housing units, representing 96% of our annual delivery target of 7,200 units. These housing developments cut across different project loan categories. In line with our commitment to financial inclusion and mortgage affordability, we have developed and commenced the rollout of new products, which include non-interest mortgage products introduced to serve Nigerians seeking ethical financing options, rent assistance to help NHF contributors meet rental obligations before transitioning to home ownership, and then the diaspora NHF and mortgage products. In collaboration with Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, otherwise known as NIDCOM, and the Central Bank of Nigeria, to enable Nigerians in the diaspora to own homes back home while attracting foreign exchange inflows into the country.
Still ahead on the news at 10, it's a record hit or a hit record as Nigeria's foreign exchange reserves rises to $48.5 billion, its highest level since 2013. That's on Business News. Please join us again.
My Oga, welcome, sir.
Apologies. We need to look at this report.
What can we offer you?
Don't worry, I'll soon be leaving.
I'm coming.
Huh? Mr. Chef, it's a two-finger crush.
How's the beef and crayfish?
I am the chef of life. I am the chef of life with Mr. Chef.
And your love got this.
Food is ready, sir.
I was about to take my leave.
Mazi, Digo.
With Mr. Chef, a simple crush turns meals into culture and moments into memories.
true taste of home.
And culture.
Mr. Chef, taste home, taste culture.
This Ramadan, it's not the season to hide, it's the season to let my beauty shine. Nivea Nourishing Cocoa Lotion 5-in-1 Complete Care. Discover deep nourishment with cocoa butter, deep moisture serum, and vitamin E for long-lasting moisture and protection from dry and ashy skin without the greasy feel. Get the Nivea Nourishing Cocoa Glow this Ramadan. Skin is for always shining. Nivea is for skin.
Since Nigeria's independence in 1960, we have been building. Beyond homes, we built strong families and even stronger bonds and relationships. Beyond offices, we built foundations for forging Africa's formidable economic powerhouse. Beyond sports facilities, we built the passion of a nation. Together, you and us have built the foundations of yesterday and today. Together, we'll build the next possibilities. Lafarge, a member of Washin. Beyond buildings.
Win your share of 3 billion naira with Nivea. 1,000 naira airtime guaranteed with every entry. Become one of 10 millionaires weekly or win a chance to see Real Madrid live. 3 SUVs to be won. Buy any Nivea 400ml promo product, scratch and dial to enter.
We are a nation of passion and resilience. For almost 25 years, we have believed in our people, investing, innovating, and connecting millions. We build vital infrastructure and provide essential services like health centers and clean water that sustain communities. As the biggest supporter of Nigerian football and athletics, we are developing the next generation of champions. We are proud to be the first telco listed on the Nigerian exchange. Owned and led by Nigerians, with nearly half our executive team being women, we are building the nation's most inclusive company. With over 6.7 trillion naira in taxes paid and deep investments through the MTN Foundation, our numbers tell a story of purpose, partnership, and progress. We are MTN Nigeria, a proudly Nigerian company that will continue to be a force for good.
Welcome back to the news at 10. In Gombe State, Governor Inuwa Yahaya has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Consortium for African Development to solve years of water scarcity in the state. The State Commissioner for Water, Environment and Forestry Resources, Gombe State, Mr. Mohamed Fao, stated this during a tour of water and energy generation and distribution systems, which was performed in the state capital.
This is an on-the-spot assessment of water treatment, generation and distribution systems by the officials of the Gombe State government. The assessment is a follow-up on the agreement signed by the state government with the Consortium for African Development to ending decades of water scarcity in Gombe State, dating back to 1996 when the state was created. The Tunisian Consortium is an assemblage of experts on water, renewable energy, oil and gas exploration, roads and bridges construction from Tunisia and Morocco.
The company name is TUCAT, and that's their vice president, Tunisian Consortium for African Development. They have presence in about 20 African countries, and they are providing infrastructure, roads, bridges, water, renewable energy, and rest of it.
The team visited the Dadinkowa water treatment plant, circled back to the Dadinkowa multi-use dam, where irrigation channels and the 40 megawatts of hydroelectricity are up and running. The team also visited the 1,000 hectares Muhammad Buhari Park and several other booster stations within the Gombe metropolis to identify gaps and opportunities for boosting water and energy supply.
Because there's here we have much opportunity. Just only we make together a win-win partnership, and we can give you the experience of Tunisian company and Tunisian people.
It was really encouraging to make efforts and to invest to come to solve or contribute to solving the problems that are with the water and mainly with the energy to provide the water to the population.
The field inspection tour afforded opportunities for debates, comparing notes, idea sharing, and mapping of strategic timelines of activities to yield gains for Gombe State Government and the consortium.
Yeah, definitely. From what I have so far, I'm highly impressed with the suggestions they have made already, and I'm very sure as they carry out more studies, the problems will reveal itself.
SAWASH is one of the programs that His Excellency brought under the World Bank, which is being supported by the state, and we are doing well. Just like you can see now, so many boreholes inside the town have been resuscitated.
The second visit of the team is scheduled for immediate, medium, and long term, as the state government hopes to build a viable water supply scheme for the states.
A non-governmental organization that focuses on the education of girls who are intellectually gifted but cannot afford it, known as the Mama Ejima Ezia Foundation, has been officially launched. Speaking at the inaugural ceremony at the Community Secondary School Ibagwani in Nsukka local government area of Enugu State, the founder Nkuruka Honor stated that the Memorial Foundation is set up to honor her late mother, Monica Ezia, who died in a motor accident some 34 years ago while traveling to Suleja from Nsukka.
It is the inaugural ceremony of the Mama Ejima Ezia Foundation, hosted by Community Secondary School Ibagwa Ani in Enugu State. The ceremony opens its doors to students from local schools, especially the girls, as well as parents, traditional rulers, and the church. The day begins with a holy mass to celebrate the life and foundation established in honor of the late Monica Ezia, who endured great tribulation for raising 6 girls and ultimately lost her life in the pursuit of their education.
To every girl child sitting here today, hear us very clearly. You will not be us. You will not carry unanswered questions about your world. You will not be told your education does not matter. You will not be denied because you are a girl child.
She announces the Mama Ejima Foundation Scholarship, which will provide for 10 academically gifted secondary school girls facing financial hardship starting September 2026.
This scholarship is dedicated to every intelligent, hardworking girl child in our community and beyond, who possess the ability to succeed academically but lacks the financial means to pursue higher education.
To spice up the day, the girls engaged in a fun-filled debate on education versus early marriage, with the team advocating for education winning the argument. While one of the daughters expressed her belief that their mother's personality and legacy would ensure the foundation's sustainability, the traditional ruler of the community emphasized the need for everyone to be on board.
My mother was a generous woman, and I know, seeing the crowd here, I shed tears, because the day she was buried, the same crowd in my father's house, and I know the same crowd will still answer us when we are calling for donation.
Every girl child deserves education. Every girl child should go to school. Empower a girl and you empower a community.
One of the highlights was the distribution of gifts, ensuring that no attendee went home empty-handed. While the students received back-to-school packs, their parents were provided with essential food items.
United Nigeria Airlines is set to broaden its horizons with plans to launch intercontinental routes later this year, marking a major milestone in its growth journey. The airline also announced the acquisition of 6 additional Boeing 737-800NG aircrafts from the Southwest Aviation, while finalizing negotiations for 3 more of the same model. The new aircrafts are expected to be delivered before the end of the second quarter, significantly boosting the airline's fleet capacity. The chairman of United Nigeria Airlines, Professor Obiora Okonkwo, made this known at a press briefing to commemorate the carrier's 5th anniversary.
5
5 years ago, the dream of United Nigeria Airlines took flight, starting with just 4 aircraft. The airline began connecting passengers across Nigeria and Ghana, laying the foundation for what has become a rising star in African aviation. To celebrate its 5th anniversary, top management gather in Ikeja, Lagos to showcase the airline's achievements and share ambitious plans for the next 5 years.
This roadmap we have anchored on 3 strong pillars. Number 1, excellence in passenger experience. Number 2, sustainable growth and partnership. Number 3, impact beyond aviation.
Having earned International Air Transport Association certification and completed a record-breaking operational safety audit in just 2 years, United Nigeria Airlines is delivering world-class service with highly trained aviation professionals. The company projects it will carry 1 million passengers this year alone.
This year alone, we did over 700,000 passengers. And put together so far, we have done about 2.5 million over our 5-year period. We are just about to hit our 1 million, and that will happen before the end of the year.
And looking ahead, United Nigeria Airlines aims to evolve from a leading national carrier into a continental aviation powerhouse, with eventual plans to launch intercontinental routes.
By the end of second quarter of 2026, United Nigeria will fly direct to New York. And to support this, we had already acquired in our midst 2 A330-200 aircraft.
The airline also unveiled its in-flight magazine, Harmony, and a loyalty program, Unity Rewards, offering passengers exclusive benefits earned from every journey. As it marks 5 years, United Nigeria Airlines remains committed to working closely with aviation regulators, serving customers better, and maintaining its position as a top player in the aviation industry.
So let's get the very latest now from the world of business. Here's Will Ibom.
Thank you, Yetunde. Now, Nigeria's foreign exchange reserves have climbed to $48.5 billion, marking the highest level since 2013. And that's according to latest data from the Central Bank of Nigeria. The Apex Bank says the increase reflects improved foreign currency inflows and ongoing policy measures aimed at strengthening external buffers and restoring investor confidence in the economy. The rising reserves is expected to enhance Nigeria's ability to meet external obligations, stabilize the naira, and cushion the economy against global shocks. Now, the latest figure represents a significant recovery compared to previous years when reserves were pressured by lower oil receipts and foreign exchange volatility. Now, staying in the oil sector, a brewing dispute in the energy sector as Pengassin raises concerns over President Bola Tinubu's 2026 executive order. The union says the president may have been misled into a move that could hurt the industry. Pengassin argues an executive order cannot override the Petroleum Industry Act, warning that diverting funds like the frontier exploration and gas infrastructure fees to the Federation account goes against existing laws. The union also warns that the order could threaten about 4,000 jobs at NNPC Limited and shake investor confidence. It is calling for an immediate review to avoid labor unrest.
The executive order that was signed by the president yesterday is in direct attack of the provisions of the PIA. The provisions of the PIA are Section 8 of the PIA, Section 9 of the PIA, and Section 64 of the PIA. It's a direct attack. What the president has done is that he has used an executive order to set aside a law of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That is exactly what the president has done. And this is quite troubling because what are we telling the investors? What are we telling the international community? What is the signaling that we are sending out there? That just with an executive order, you can set aside the law of the land. This is an aberration. This should never have happened.
And from there, we head to the domestic stock market, where we see that it had longer legs to run today as it sustained Wednesday's bullish sentiments. Lad Williams has the details.
Well, positive sentiment continues in today's trade, and the over 1% gains is back at this point from a 0.5% point rise yesterday. We're 1.39% higher today, taking the all-share index to 193,000 points. Price discovery continues. Market cap 123 trillion. But we see the volume and value of trades was lower compared to yesterday, signaling low participation rally, driven by large cap stocks. Let's look at the market mover. MTN Nigeria has been getting a lot of attention in the news these days. Closed at 780 naira. After reaching an agreement to acquire IHS Towers, the largest independent towers operators and developers of shared communication infrastructure globally. We also heard the federal government has revealed its plan to review MTN's acquisition of IHS Towers. So I guess investors are tracking this deal closely. Let's look at the tier 1 banks now. They were all up today, but First Holdco takes a shine with a 6.67% advance. We have the likes of Access Core there adding 4%, Zenith Bank 1.55%. So the tier 1 banks looking good, and some tier 2 banks. So it's another game today. We'll see if it continues tomorrow.
Anyways, Ladi, if investors do not take profit, we'll see how that goes. But let's see the closing numbers for other major equities around the world now. And that's business news. I am Will Ibang. It's back to you, Ayotunde.
Thank you so much, Will. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has been released following his arrest this morning on suspicion of misconduct in public office. The former UK prince was photographed reclined in a vehicle leaving the Aviation police station. Here's Sam Pierce with more on this and other international news and around the world in 5 from our London studio.
Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has been arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. Police said they took King Charles's brother into custody, and officers had carried out searches at addresses in Berkshire and Norfolk. Vehicles believed to be police cars had been seen arriving at the Sandringham estate in Norfolk. It comes after Thames Valley Police said they were assessing a complaint over the alleged sharing of confidential material by the former prince with the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Andrew, who turned 66 today, had previously denied any wrongdoing. In a statement, King Charles said, "I have learned with the deepest concern the news about Andrew Mountbatten Windsor and suspicion of misconduct in public." He later wrote, "The law must take its course." There is no precedent for a senior member of the royal family being placed under arrest in modern British history, so many are seeing this as a seismic moment for the monarchy.
the current king, when he was made the special envoy after leaving the Royal Navy, made it very clear that he didn't think it was a good idea. He thought that Andrew should just focus on doing royal duties and not take on an official role until, in terms of working alongside the government in this way, until it was cleared, until he fully understand what was involved. I'm sure that the king has got his head in his hands about this at the moment. It truly is a seismic moment for this country, and I think for the monarchy as well.
The accused, Yoon, is to be sentenced to lifetime imprisonment.
South Korea's ex-president Yoon Suk-yeol has been jailed for life for masterminding an insurrection by trying to impose military rule. A Seoul court ruled that Yoon had attempted to subvert the constitution by deploying military troops to seal off the National Assembly and ordering the arrest of politicians on the 3rd of December 2024. The presiding judge told the court his actions fundamentally damaged South Korea's democracy and deserved a harsh punishment. Prosecutors had sought the death penalty. Though it was short-lived, Yoon's martial law order left the nation more polarized than ever, and those deep divisions were on full display as the sentencing took place. Huge crowds of Yoon's supporters gathered outside the court hours before the hearing, holding banners. If either side launches an appeal, the case will go up to the Supreme Court, which means it could be months before the verdict is finalized. A UN fact-finding mission has determined that evidence of atrocities carried out during the siege and takeover of the Sudanese city of El-Fasher points to genocide. The paramilitary rapid support forces captured El-Fasher, located in the western region of Darfur, at the end of October after an 18-month blockade. It was one of the most brutal chapters in Sudan's nearly 3-year civil war and triggered widespread international outrage. This is the closest the UN has come to declaring that genocide is being carried out by RSF fighters in Darfur since the current conflict. The RSF has not commented on the report, but has denied previous such accusations. Evidence is mounting that Elon Musk's decision to deny Russian forces access to his Starlink satellite-based internet service has blunted Moscow's advance, caused confusion among Russian soldiers, and handed an advantage to Ukraine's defenders. It's still too early to assess the impact of the change that came into effect at the beginning of the month, after Ukraine's defense minister asked Elon Musk's SpaceX company to block Russian access to Starlink. But in some areas of the front line, especially in the city of Zaporizhia, there is some evidence of Russian forces being forced to retreat. A town in northern Italy has started celebrating Carnival with its annual Battle of the Oranges, where people hurl the fruit at each other for fun. The historic carnival in Ivrea, an old medieval town near Turin, celebrates the legend of Violetta, a miller's daughter who freed people from a tyrant starving the town. The colourful battle commemorates the uprising and is played between 9 teams on foot who represent the people who revolted, while the orange throwers on horse-drawn carriages represent the feudal armies. The oranges used during the celebration are not suitable for sale, an organiser said, adding that they are collected and used for fertiliser after the event. And there was canine chaos as a local wolf dog found its way onto the cross-country ski course mid-race at the Winter Olympics. Reportedly, a Czechoslovakian wolf dog wandered onto the ski trail during the women's team cross-country free sprint qualification event at the skiing stadium. Footage from the broadcast showed the happy-looking pup running between the 2 skiers, with the crowd cheering as it crossed the finish line. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.
Many thanks indeed, Simon. Back here in Lagos, let's walk you through some updates from the world of sports. Chairman of the National Sports Commission, Sheyi Diko, has confirmed that President Bola Tinubu has approved the constitution for the board of the Nigeria Anti-Doping Agency following the signing of the long-awaited bill. Mr. Diko disclosed this after meeting with the president and briefing him at the presidential Villa Abuja, where he also spoke on the commission's 2025 performance, approvals granted by the president, and projections for 2026. He described the meeting as a routine engagement, stressing that the commission reports directly to the president.
I believe Mr. President is happy, and that's why we are now having this conversation to see how we can make it better in 2026 and beyond. And I submitted the annual report of what we have done formally to Mr. President, and then there are certain approvals. For example, he approved the constitution of the Nigeria Anti-Doping Agency, and one of the things that we have to now push more is about the infrastructure, because we need infrastructure to work. So we also discussed that, and part of the memos Mr. President is looking at to see how we can fast-track the development of sporting infrastructure across the country. We have a definitive directive to our sporting federation. If you are not showing us what you are doing on the grassroots and the domestic scene, we can't support you to go for international competitions.
Head coach Justin Madugu has settled for captain Rashida Ajibade, goalkeeper Chiamaka Nnadozie, and forwards Esther Okoronkwo in a 25-player Super Falcons roster for the upcoming friendly matches against the indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon in Yaoundé. Canada-based midfielder Ngozi Okobi Okeogene makes a return to the squad after a couple of years, and forward Gift Monday also returns after missing out on last year's Women AFCON triumph in Morocco. England-based goalkeeper Comfort Rabo has also been called up for the first time. Midfielder Precious Christopher, based in Tanzania, also joins up with the group for the first time. The first game against the Lionesses will hold on February 28th, with the second game coming up on March 3rd. Tennis, Amanda Anisimavo has ended a tearful Mira and Rivers Dubai title defense earlier today with a comeback 2-6, 7-5, 7-6 victory in the quarterfinals. The second-seeded American trailed the fifth-seed Russian Andreeva by a set and a break before rallying back to complete a 2-hour, 38-minute win.
Wonderful.
That's your sports news tonight. I am Kelly Gigas. Back to you today.
And the main news again. The Senate today challenged the president's economic team over the non-implementation of the 2025 budget, as the upper chamber has also considered cutting the 2026 budget proposal. And U.S. President Donald Trump says the world will know within 10 days whether the United States can reach a deal with Iran or might resort to military action. And that's the news at 10 tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. Do have a good night.
Hello and welcome. This is Entertainment News on Channels Television. My name is Abide Midairo, and today on the program, Canadian celebrity chef Raquel Fox praises African cuisine as she becomes a celebrity judge on the reality TV show Street Food Naija. We'll take you to the premiere of a new Nollywood movie. Plus, we'll also bring you trending new music videos. All these and many more on the program today, so don't go away. We begin the show today in Nollywood, where filmmaker Richard Osmos Iboyi premiered his latest feature film, Friends Indeed, a drama that examines the delicate balance between friendship, ambition, and social status in contemporary Lagos.
Under the lights of a buzzing Lagos premiere, the Nollywood drama, Friends Indeed, makes its first public bow, setting the stage for a story about friendship, loyalty, ambition, and the cost of all three.
Selling anything at all. Why are you in a competition with that